It is 7:36. My apologies for starting a little bit late, but we needed the extra time to finish our study session on the CAFR. So good evening. I'd like to call the August 11th, 2020 regular City Council meeting to order. I'd like to point out that this meeting is being hosted through live stream on the city's website and by teleconference for public comment. City staff is in an off-site location participating through video conference. If you're joining through teleconference, please remember to mute your phone to prevent noise interference until you provide your comment. Due to the structure of this meeting, I would like to remind council to have their microphones turned on and positioned so that the audience can hear. Deputy City Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Meyer?
Here.
Councilmember Percival?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Krupa?
Here.
Mayor Brown?
Here.
Thank you.
In the absence of the Interfaith Council not being here today, the invocation will be held by Councilmember Percival, after which Councilmember Meyer will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
Heavenly Father, thank you for our time together. Thank you for the blessings that you continually give this valley and the city of Hemet. And I thank you for your graciousness and moving our city forward into the future as we get through all the obstacles and the challenges that we need to get through in our city. I ask this in your name, Jesus. Amen.
Salute to the American flag. Ready to begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Moving on through our agenda, item 10 is communications from the public. There's a temporary 2-minute per person time limit for all general public comments on non-public hearing items. All who wish to speak, including council members and staff, need to be recognized by the mayor before speaking. Members of the public shall comply with adopted rules of decorum, Resolution 4545, a copy of which can be requested through the city clerk's office. You may also fill out a form and submit your comments online at www.hemetca.gov/councilchamberlive, and your comments will be read aloud. Submittal must be done before 2 p.m. on the day of the meeting. For those who wish to join by teleconference, you may do so by calling 888-585-9008. When prompted, dial 768-176-038. You'll be asked for your name prior to speaking. As a reminder, if you're joining by teleconference, please mute your phone to prevent noise interference until you're given time for your comments. When you're called upon, please state your name and the item that you're commenting on before speaking. After the conclusion of communications from the public and public hearing item, public teleconference line will be deactivated. Public is still encouraged to watch the live stream at hemetca.gov/councilchamberlive. So moving on to item 10A, public comment for items listed on the agenda, consent and discussion items. Do we have any electronic comments submitted for consent or discussion items?
Yes, Mayor, there's one electronic comment submitted by Ann Smith. States, agenda item 14A regarding PHLA Housing Act that was discussed at the 7/14/20 meeting when Councilmember Wright sat in her seat in Hamden Hod about not wanting to let offered money go. I listened while you sat there and said, in quotation, "We don't have the personnel to administer this," end quote. While the city attorney went back to the county and got them to agree to administering this, but someone is going to have to prepare a statement of some sort for the county, outlining Hemet's goals, program strategies, and activities, etc. The county won't do that because they're not here seeing what we need. Someone has to prepare the basic information, and that takes time. There would have to be some kind of oversight. There are other considerations not mentioned in this comment. In addition, Hemet will get 90% of the approved funding. So my question are, will the county actually give this money to the city to hold in a special account? And is the $2,450,000 $1,216, the 90% amount of the total as outlined in the agreement, or will there be 10% taken out? Agenda item 14B regarding a move to fill the vacancy resulting from Bonnie Wright's resignation, 7/28/2020. Does Councilmember Wright wish to resign?
Council chamber line.
Because Councilmember Wright chose to resign 19 days after the sale of her Seven Hills home closed escrow. She put the city in a position of having to spend untold amounts of money for a possible special election. Where is the evidence Ms. Wright was living within the city limits when she voted on the budget? See the attached city ordinance section 2-165. It was public knowledge that her home was not listed for sale in May 2020. It was also public knowledge that the house closed escrow on 7/10. How is it possible that no one on the council knew about that? The city is really at risk as a result of irresponsible action on part of Ms. Wright. If Ms. Wright had resigned when she was legally obligated to on 7/10 when the sale of her house closed escrow, you wouldn't be in this position. You would have enough time for a special election. She betrayed the public trust. End of quote.
Is that all the electronic comments?
Correct. That's the only electronic comment submitted.
Are there any members participating through teleconference that would like to comment on any consent or discussion item? Okay. Do we have any speaker slips submitted from the audience that might be in attendance?
No, Mayor, there are no requests to speak.
Okay, moving on to item 10B, public comment for items not listed on the agenda, but within jurisdictional matter. Public comment for items not listed on the agenda. Are there electronic comments submitted?
No, Mayor, there are no comments.
And do we have any members of the public participating through teleconference that would like to comment on a non-agendized item? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to item 11. We have a presentation. 11A is a demonstration of the new citizen request application known as C-Click Fix that will launch August 31st, 2020.
Are you on? Is there a green light on?
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of council. We do have a brief video and then a demonstration of the C-Click Fix app for you. But before we launch that, I just kind of wanted to give you an update of where we are in the process. Presently, we have two citizen request platforms. We have YourGov, which will be unavailable at the end of this month. That's why we're moving forward with C-Click Fix. And we have Civic Plus. C-Click Fix is really a more robust version of Civic Plus and will allow for us to accept citizen requests, track those requests, and then should a citizen sign up for an account, they'll be able to track the requests and get updates as well. The nice thing also about the C-Click Fix program is it's geographically based. You can literally take a photograph on your cell phone of an issue, upload it, and it'll identify specifically where that issue takes place. We'll also be able to provide regular reports on activities as well as accomplishments that we've made, and we'll structure it to be able to report on each individual councilmatic district. So you'll be able to keep track of our accomplishments as well. And the nice thing is it's an accountability tool. It'll ensure that we're being accountable to the public and their requests. As I indicated, C-Click Fix is slated to go live September 1st, the day after the termination of YourGov. Also, we will no longer be utilizing Civic Plus. Civic Plus and C-Click Fix are basically the same company, and as I indicated, C-Click Fix is really a more robust program. So I'm going to go ahead and start the video for you.
We care deeply about our neighborhoods. And when something is broken on our street, we want it fixed quickly. Knowing who to call and having the time to call them can be really frustrating. On the other side, managing these concerns along with daily workloads takes time and a lot of internal communication. So much so that the concerned citizen often gets lost in the shuffle. This results in a bad service experience and a discouraged citizen. It doesn't have to be this way. With C-Click-Fix, citizens can easily submit concerns from their smartphones, the town website, in person, or over the phone. These concerns are then sent automatically to the right official with the right information to get the job done. Town officials are then able to manage the assignment, communication, and resolution around these issues, keeping the citizen in the loop the whole time. Finally, this data helps the government to run an efficient organization, tracking work, activity, and successful exchanges so that when management meets with council, they are able to have better informed discussion, leading to better decisions. C-Click-Fix. Better communication, stronger communities.
We are excited to announce C-Click-Fix, our new citizen request application that will launch September 1st, 2020. First, start by downloading the C-Click-Fix app from the App Store or Google Play. You can also access the C-Click-Fix tool via the City of Hemet's website by scrolling down to the Report a Problem link, or simply visit cclickfix.com. Once installed, simply select Report. Enter the address where the issue is located. Then select the proper category. After that, add a photo of the issue you are concerned about. Add a detailed description. The last step would be to either register for an account, sign into an existing account, or submit request as a guest. Please note that if you submit request as a guest, you will not receive status email updates. It's that simple.
Initially, when we roll it out on September 1st, we have 3 departments that will actually be participating in the program: Community Development, the Police Department, and Public Works. And we're hoping to build upon all the other departments are having some functionality with the program as well. So happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Okay, thank you for that presentation. Council? Carly, any questions? Linda?
Was that Dan Cortese on that?
Yeah, that was Dan.
I thought I recognized his voice. I'm excited about this. This is good. It's going to make things so much easier for people.
Michael? I do have a couple of questions. You mentioned in that presentation that you'll be asked to put in the address that you're reporting. In the case of situation we have illegal dumping occurring along roadsides, generally in a remote area where there's no address. So is that field going to be required, or taking a photograph of it is the geo-based component will capture that location?
We're working right now with a consultant to build what they call shape files. And so in the event that once the shape file is created, a photograph can be taken, and it should locate the location of the illegal dumping and provide us with the geographic location of that particular dumping. So that will be done when we roll out the program on September 1st.
Okay, so if it's a location that doesn't necessarily have a physical address, in that section where you put in the address, would you put in what?
You put cross
block
streets,
or what street,
sure,
or cross street, or how many feet, or you can do that in the comment section?
Yes.
Where you're describing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's basically very similar to YourGov, but more efficient.
More efficient, and there's a follow-up component as well, where an individual that's requesting the service actually gets notified once, or what the status of the service is.
That's a real important feature right there, is getting the feedback. Because if you don't get feedback, you kind of think it maybe you went into a black hole, and unless you go back and physically check yourself to see if there's anything improved. So that feedback is going to encourage participation. I'm real confident of that. So thank you very much. I'm anxious to see this go live.
Thank you.
So, Mayor, on that note, I want to thank Tim and the rest of the management team in Public Works, Dan, Charles, and one of the silent heroes in the city of Hemet, Carmen Garcia, does incredible work for the city of Hemet. And so they all had a part in this. Another key component of this, I know a couple of you at least host various community meetings, and so the question always comes up, what has the city done for me lately? And so with this new tool, we'll be able to provide information with respect to geographical boundaries, extract those reports, and then provide that to the council should they want any information related to specific geographic locations within the city. So thank you very much, Tim.
Thank you, Tim. Moving on to item 12 is receive and file. We had a 2-hour study session, a little over 2-hour study session on the CAPR, the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report. So I will entertain a motion that we receive and file that report.
So moved.
And you have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem. For a second? I will second that. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Meyer?
No.
Councilmember Percival?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Krupa?
Yes.
Mayor Brown?
Yes. Motion passes 3-1. Moving on to item 12B, the warrant register. I guess that would actually be all of 12, so we couldn't handle that already. Okay.
Because you called out you called specifically.
Yeah, I called out 12A. Yeah, so we should probably do that. Okay, so may I have a motion to receive and file the warrant register, item 12B?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Meyer?
Yes.
Councilmember Percival?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Krupa?
Yes.
Mayor Brown?
Yes, that passes unanimously. Thank you for catching that. Item 13 is the consent calendar. All consent calendar items will be acted upon simultaneously unless an item is requested to be pulled by an individual council member for separate consideration. Are there any members of the council that would like to pull a consent calendar item for separate consideration? Okay. Hearing none, may I have a motion on the consent calendar?
Move approval of the consent calendar items.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Meyer?
Yes.
Councilmember Percival?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Krupa?
Yes.
Mayor Brown?
Yes, that passes unanimously. Item 14 is discussion items. For each item, we will have a staff report. So item 14A, Permanent and Local Housing Allocation, PLHA, Agreement with County of Riverside. We have a staff report. HB, welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Before you tonight is an item that was continued in subject matter from July 14, 2020 City Council meeting. At that meeting, City Council has directed the staff, City Manager, to participate in the agreement for permanent local housing allocation program with the County of Riverside Housing Authority. At that meeting, this council requested for additional detailed information of the agreement, which we have provided in the attachment for tonight's meeting. The program itself is for 5 years, the allocation from 2019 to 2023, the estimated figure for the city of Hemet is $2.4 million in change. That equates to about $483,000 per year. Of that, the 5% will go towards the administrative fee for the county housing authority, and they would administer the program for the city. The remaining 95% will go and divide it into 20 and 80%. The 20% will go towards the first-time home buyers assistance program, and the 80% will go towards the development of affordable housing units. The city attorney has also contacted the county attorney and have some items that they discussed. And there are 3 items that they discussed, and I'll identify them. One is reporting requirements in which the county will be responsible for filing a quarterly report with the city manager describing the eligible use, the persons or entities to whom the allocated funds are being dispersed, and the project benefiting from such funds. 2, an option to terminate the agreement prior to 2 years in the event the city's allocated funding has been expended as identified in Section 5.1D, and mutual indemnification. So this program itself does not have any impact to the city general fund. It's all allocated through the permanent local housing allocation program funding source. The action tonight before you is to approve the agreement with the County of Riverside, authorizing the county to act as lead applicant, administrator, and fiscal agent of the PLHA grant funds on behalf of the city, and authorize the city manager to execute the PLHA agreement with the County of Riverside. Staff is available to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, HP. Any questions of staff from council? Michael.
Let me pull it back up. The question that I have is that in the agreement, it states in here that that they have to follow the guidelines of the PLHA standard agreement. That's the parties that, and I'm assuming that's the parties that will be obtaining the funding.
Correct.
Okay, so do we have that language and what that looks like? Have you taken a look at it, Mr. City Attorney?
Let's see. Okay. I have. It is online at HCD's website if you would like to take a look at it along with their guidelines. I don't know that I can specifically go through it. It's a pretty standard type HCD document. There's a lot of detail in it. If you have specific questions or concerns, I can review the agreement for those concerns and give the whole council an email back if you'd like.
Based on what you've seen already, did you see that there's going to be any type of crazy